Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Little Bits of Awesome. That there. That's my sister, Emily.
True. Hi, guys. And this is Kass.
And check over there.
We have
the one,
the only,
the amazing,
the coolest,
the spectacular,
the most awesome.
Mykayla.
Go ahead. Skinner.
Go for it.
Girl.
Mykayla Skinner here in the pod box. It is a piping 150,000 degrees, and we are so happy that you are here with us. Put your hands together, everybody.
Yes. How about it? How about it on the keyboard? No, that was not it. The exact opposite button was
worth a shot.
Oh yeah, we do have Pidge here.
Yeah, we do. Always have Pidge.
That's right. And we have a whole team of people who came in today for this special episode.
Make sure that we behave ourselves.
So, Mykayla, welcome.
Thank you.
How you feeling today?
You know, couldn't it be better?
Oh, yeah, that's the answer.
Awesome.
That's right.
Already feeling awesome. I love that. No, I was just telling her that I can't think of someone cooler and more awesome to have here on our podcast, because an Olympian, are you kidding me? I mean, that's a title that very few people in the world hold.
What it symbolizes is so huge.
It's so true.
The hard work, the dedication, the mindset, the amount of hours. Like, it's just, how do you feel when people put your name and Olympian in the same sentence?
It's like all my dreams came true.
Yeah.
So cool.
Like, is it? I'm sure at this point it's sunk in. I think you've pretty much owned it because it's been a while. But when that was your moment, I mean, was that like, is this real life? Like, that had to have been like something that was hard to absorb.
It was. I feel like it never really feels real, even though you do it, you lived it, and then you sit back and watch videos, and you're like, did that even happen? You know, so it is crazy to think about, and especially not doing gym anymore. It's like, I did that? You know, like I was a gymnast.
How long has it been since you've taken a break?
So the last time I did gymnastics right after the Olympics was the Gold Over America tour. So that ended in was it the end of October, like first week of November-ish?
And what does that entail?
So the Gold Over America tour was Simone Biles' tour that she put on. So usually we have a tour after the Olympics every year or every 4 years, but she we didn't have the Kellogg's tour, so Simone started her own tour, and
That's
so
cool.
it was kind of just like, you know, our stories and just inspiring young girls that do gymnastics, and anybody, you know, just especially with everything that's gone on in the gymnastics world with Larry Nassar and just all that stuff. So
I did a lot of deep dives into different podcasts and reports of that. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. So I think it was just much needed, and everyone just loved it and felt so inspired. So, you know, that's kind of our goal, is inspiring the next generations to come. So
I love that.
So,
sorry. I just wondered how long that tour was.
It was like a month and a half. So 5 days, 2 days off.
Okay. That's intense.
It was a lot.
And I'm guessing a new state,
almost like every day.
Every day you were in a new location.
Yeah.
So you were traveling by a bus? Is that what you just said?
By a bus, yep.
That's
brutal.
There's something so fun about that, though.
Yeah, that's true. Like
you just
unity.
have to, and you have to laugh and have fun and make jokes and make the time pass.
Was there any fun?
Yeah, or is it just like a lot of focus?
I mean, obviously it's a lot more fun because we're not doing like our elite routines.
Yeah.
It's more just throwing some skills and different things, but creating a story, which was really cool. But I mean, we explored everywhere, and I met, we had dancers. It was gymnasts, and then we had some dancers come on, some professional dancers. So
were they like coming in between performing while?
Yeah,
how did the dancers fit into the whole thing?
They were like dancing as we were going.
Yeah.
So just kind of a whole thing going on. So
almost
it was
like
really
cheerleaders
cool.
on the sideline of a basketball game or something.
Yeah. There you go. It's an easier way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it was fun. It was really cool, and we just went and had a blast and shopped
all
a
USA.
lot.
All USA, right? On the tour?
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's incredible.
I've often thought about this with Olympians, that when your name is coupled with I am an Olympian, I feel that would be very hard for me to separate like who I am and what I do, because that is a title that you've worked for your entire life. So was that sort of something that you had to work on throughout your process to make sure that that didn't become the only part of you that you focused on, or
I love that.
Your identity?
Yeah, there's so much more to you, you know?
Totally. I feel like, yes, in some ways. I mean, I've done gym since I was 5, so 20 years. So a very long time. But I also feel like getting married, you know, right before COVID happened. And I feel like a lot of gymnasts, you know, kind of after the Olympics, they're either done or they now kind of go to college. I feel like a lot more are going to college than retiring. But I think for me, it's just kind of been easy to kind of make that transition into life. I'm married. I'm not on my own trying to figure out life, trying to figure out what I want to do. I kind of lived that while I was training for this Olympics. So I feel like that kind of helped in some ways and kept me humbled and just, you know, keeping me going. So
yeah, and you had something to look forward to. I mean, you were freshly married. Like, when did you get married?
November 2019. So like right before COVID hit. So
oh my
we got lucky.
Yeah,
I'm sure
you did.
That's a lot of adjustment because like my husband and I, we work together. So we're very used to being together all the time. However, so many people that I heard from, when they weren't used to spending that much time with their spouse, and then all of a sudden you're in a pandemic and then you're busy training, that's probably like the speed train of adjustment in marriage.
Yeah, it's true.
How did that experience work for you?
Obviously there's pros and cons, but I mean, it was also kind of fun because we started a YouTube channel. So he was going to the gym with me and like filming me every day.
Awesome.
And so I just feel like we just had a blast, even though, you know, we were supposed to be stuck in our homes. I still got to go to the gym and train by myself, and he got to be there with me, even though I was crying blood, sweat, and tears every single day, wanting to give up. So he honestly kept me going. So I think it was such a blessing that we got married. It was the right time,
support.
and I had that support to get me through it.
Yeah.
So this is a little side note. Our husbands are terrible at filming us. I mean, we were at the roller skating rink.
Can anybody document that we're here?
This is
anybody?
good footage.
You know?
Anybody. Like we love to roller skate.
I did see that. It looked really fun.
Oh,
I'm coming next year.
Yes, we would love for you to come.
To.
We actually want to.
It makes you feel alive, I have to say.
It makes you feel alive and young. You're young.
Pidge, can you get into it? Can you feel it? You can skate?
I'm more of a blader.
Okay.
Listen, I was very good at blading. In fact, like legit, I bladed everywhere. However,
it was kind of when we were like,
it's your generation,
Blades
for sure. Are you a blader? Did you ever?
But
I did a
skating
little
is
bit,
cooler now.
Yeah, skateboarding.
Skating is so cool now.
So roller skating is probably cooler because it's retro.
Yeah,
it is. Oh, bringing it
so
back.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
So last time we were skating, we were just like, look at our husbands. See, I mean,
clueless.
Do you want to film any of this? This is great footage. So I love that he was in on that with you.
He's dialed in. Yeah, for sure.
He was. He's not so good at pictures.
Okay.
But he can capture the video, which is good.
Yeah. Hey, at least the moment is documented.
I guess he can't do it all.
Yeah. You know?
So speaking of the gym, I mean, I've spent a long time on your social media and watching the training at the gym. So you went to Arizona, right, to do all the training?
Yes.
And is that where all Olympians always train, or do you have your own gym that you went? What was that?
Yeah, so we train at our own club gym. So I'm from Arizona, so that was the gym that I was with since I was 12. That took me into elite, made the national team, went to Worlds and stuff, and was an alternate 2016. And so when I came to Utah and was a gymnast at the University of Utah, I decided since I wanted to go back, I needed to go to my club gym because kind of college is just so different. It's so much easier. So college coaches can't really train up to that level.
Yeah.
And so they knew how to get me there and know me best. So I went back to Arizona, trained there, and the national team actually, we used to train in Texas when we had Marta Caroli as the Olympic coach. And then we started training in Indy there at a gym, and they're trying to build their own facility, but haven't gotten that far yet with everything that's gone on. So, but yeah, the national team would come together at least like once a month, and we would all train together, work together. And then if we had meets and stuff, we would go to camp and then go off to our meets straight from there.
But you're all kind of training individually at your home gyms. And so that obviously means that your home gyms are equipped and talented enough to take you to the highest level.
Yep.
And your gym, have they had other Olympians come out of that
gym?
They
have not. They've had some other elites, but not an Olympian, so I'm the first.
There's another award. You can get a plaque for that one, too.
Seriously, and I'm sure they're like, and now We have a name. We're gonna do like life-size posters and Mykayla
yeah,
everywhere.
they're gonna work you for campaign and marketing for years to come.
Yeah.
So
that's so awesome.
in 2016, when you were an alternate, and isn't that what you said? Okay, and then you came back, and how did you go from like 2016 alternate? Because there's so many people who have this goal and this dream, this lifelong dream, and it was like, how did you go from it was so close to not feeling defeated in a way that would push you against the sport,
back.
but that added fuel to the fire, like, oh, I gotta come back stronger.
You were so close, but next time you're gonna be all in.
Yeah. So I actually thought, once 2016 was over, I came home from Rio. I kind of feel like elite gymnastics is just so hard. You kind of lose the love for the sport. It just kind of becomes more of like your daily routine. You kind of just do it, you know? So I was like, I wanted to go to college, but I kind of had that thought of like, do I stay and continue and go for the next Olympics? Like, what do I do? So I just prayed a lot about it. Yeah. And I was like, I need to go to college. I need to try this. And I fell in love with the sport. It was so much fun to be part of a team. You have sisters that are right there supporting you. And it was just a blast. And I told myself my freshman year, I was like, I'm never going back to elite gymnastics. Like, elite gymnastics sucks. This is just horrible. Like, I'm having so much fun. Why would I go back? And so, of course, junior year came around, and I was like, well, if I'm going to go back, I need to decide now. And thought a lot about it and was like, why not? I'm still throwing big skills in the college world, and my body is holding up really well, so just why not give it one more shot? It's something you work so hard for, and it's like,
and I remember you still have it in you, right? And you know it.
Yeah, it's like being that 12-year-old little girl. You're just like, you know, trying to reach that dream, and you get so close, and then it's like, you just kind of move on with life, you know? It's like, well, I didn't reach it, so I'm just going to try something else. And then randomly, I'm like, let's go again. Round 2, let's try it. So here I am.
At what point do people start saying that, like, you've kind of like hit the age limit?
Yeah, so usually in gymnastics, you peak from like 16 to 18. So I'm 25 now, so I was 24 in the Olympics.
Wow. So you were 20 at the 2020. I mean, like 16.
Yeah, 2019. I think I was 19, maybe.
So
almost 20, turning 20 in December that year.
Okay. You had said that on your social media.
That's right. We did deep dive stalking.
You referenced your body, like,
they
hated
got banned
you.
from,
you know,
how deep they went. They
were like, this person's crazy. We're blocking them. They cannot come to your social media. You referenced like your body.
No, it was like gymnastics wasn't nice to you.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, gymnastics wasn't nice to you leading up to the Olympics, and that you were having a big comeback. What was that? Like injury, a specific injury, or what?
Like, are you talking about when?
Well, it was like from college, and then the point where you were going back to train, there was some reference of like you coming back, like maybe you had an injury or something.
So I didn't have an injury or anything. Kind of going into the Olympic year, that's when I got kind of my injury, and then COVID and pneumonia. So that kind of like set me back a little bit.
That's maybe
so
what
it could have been that too.
Yeah.
But I mean, even coming back into the elite world, like, you know, a lot of people doubted me. Like, they knew I have a lot of talent. They knew I was so close, but they're just kind of like, you know, you're doing so well in college. Like, do you really think you're going to make it?
Maybe you'd missed your time or whatever.
And especially I'm older, and, you know, people just thought, you know, college is the easier route. Just stay in it. You're doing so well. And, you know, elite gymnastics, it's hard. You know, most of us don't make it to 24 in the Olympics. I think I was the oldest for the U.S. I can't remember since when, but a very long time they've had someone this old.
And this is what is so
incredible. So inspiring.
This is something that is so remarkable, because there's so many people who have all these outside voices telling you, oh, why would you do that? Really? You're going to go back to elite? No,
at this age,
No, I don't think that like they're projecting all of their kind of fears
doubts
about themselves onto you. And it happens with everyday life. But when you have to be so focused and so grounded to do what you have to do on an Olympic level, I don't know, at what point did you ever have that like aha moment, like, it does not matter what anybody thinks, I have to go with what is in my heart, regardless if anybody thinks I'm too old, too this, too that. Like, I know me and what I'm going to do.
Your confidence.
Yeah, totally. I mean, hearing all that stuff, I mean, I'm super competitive. And so for me, it just made me want to go out there and be like, well, watch me. I'll prove you wrong, you know? So I was like, if anything, like, I can do this. I know my body. I know myself. And I think the best thing about it is my coaches, were willing to work on a schedule with me that worked. You know, in elite gymnastics, you train 7 hours a day. So I used to train 32 hours a week. And my coaches sat me down and we came up with a plan that was like, you know, we're going to get you in here, work on what you need to, but we're not going to overdo it. Keep your body healthy, because these coaches just burn out the athletes. They do all that wear and tear on their body. It's just not necessary. I get when you're younger to try to push to get the skills that you need to get, but there comes a point where your body just can't handle it and they can't last.
It's about maintaining, right?
Yeah, they can't make it to college and do all these things because their bodies are broken. But I mean, obviously, I am a very sturdy gymnast. I'm not super flexible in the gymnastics world, which I think really helped, because I feel like the more flexible you are, you're more prone to injuries.
Really?
So I've never had a broken bone.
I would think that flexibility would help you.
That's what a lot of people say, but
if
all
things
that
are going in all
impact
kinds of directions,
I
think
know,
about it. It's like, oh, my leg was over there, and I know,
but you're thinking because you're flexible, it has the ability to recover and come back, and you know, but being tight just feels like well, you're going to snap something, but it actually works in your benefit. And did they all always tell you that as you would train? It was like, this is actually a good thing for you.
I mean, my coach, Lisa, kind of thought, you know, I think this is good that you're tight and not flexible. It did kind of suck just because in gymnastics, you need to be flexible. You need to have extension and you need to have pointed toes. And for me, like, I'd get deductions because I didn't have the execution. So that was something I had to work really, really hard on. And a lot of people just don't understand, like, I just wasn't born flexible. We've tried to make me more flexible and my body's just
You've been
stiff.
working every day for 7 hours.
I'm tight. People,
right?
Yo, I'm tight.
So it comes. What?
Listen. I am flexible.
I'm
tight.
Quote or just you?
No, it's just like, you know how people say like cool, like when you're cool, like, hey, he's tight.
This is
Mykayla,
just who I am. She's tight. Oh, she's tight.
I like that.
I like that.
That should be my new logo.
She's tight. Yeah.
I'm tight.
I like that.
It's like, you can't be everything, but I'm tight. That's cool. I'm tight.
We were both talking about, like, obviously you started gymnastics at 5. So at what point do your coaches and you realize, like, oh no, like, I'm going all the way. I am this good to be an Olympian.
Because I did
there's a lot of
gymnastics
gymnasts
as well.
Yeah.
I did not do. I'm like, I'm trying to think of.
No one pulled you aside and said,
"Listen,
let's go to
I'm
the Olympics,
waiting.
honey."
Weird.
I keep waiting for that pull aside.
Yeah, so I'm
know?
just wondering, in the process and in the journey, at what point
You're on a
surprised
video
us all?
cover, though, so you
You are exceptional, and you have the ability to do this. At what point? 7th grade? What?
So, I mean, ever since I came out of the womb, my sisters, we all did gymnastics, and my sisters were teaching it to me. So I started gymnastics as a level 5. So I skipped levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then
You showed up at a level 5, and what does that mean? Just a standing backflip, just boom.
I feel like they've kind of changed the levels.
It's probably like a back walkover.
Maybe
Pitch
not even.
knows the levels.
I mean, level 6 I feel like was more
in like levels 3 and 4 right now.
I think I did.
I had no
so
idea. He knows.
He's got it.
Okay, so if a 3 is a back walkover, I think she popped right out
with a back handspring.
My sisters taught me back handspring, so I went right into it.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Okay, so you started at 5.
Yep.
So then when was the aha moment, I am an Olympian?
So throughout the gyms I went to, my coaches had said I always had a lot of talent. This girl's probably going to go to the Olympics. And my mom was like, no, you know, whatever. So we went to Desert Lights. I went to a different gym because, you know, my other gym didn't go. They only went to level 8. Okay. So level 10 is the highest you can go. And then you go to college, or elite's like the next step. Okay. So my gym went to level 8. I was a level 8. They said she needs to go to a different gym.
You were level 8 at what age?
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
We need a whole genealogy chart.
I know. I need it like all written down.
It's so fascinating to me. Like,
I had to been like 11.
Okay.
And then because I went to Desert Lights at 12, and my first like week there, I mean, they kind of knew I had a lot of talent because they kind of watched me. They knew I was coming there, so they watched me compete and stuff. And so I came to the gym, and they obviously had better equipment, a pit, so I could play around with stuff. And like within like 2 weeks of being there, I was doing double backs, full ins, like all the big skills. And they're just like, this girl's crazy, you know? And so kind of at age 12, they put me in the Hopes group, which is going into the elite program, and just kind of started from there. And, you know, they just said, Mykayla has the potential to do it. So pretty much at the age of 12, they saw the potential in me to do it. And
so you were on the road, and you were like, that's my goal. That's where I'm going, pretty much from 12 on.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
was there ever...
Gosh, that's amazing.
I'm thinking, you know, if I'm a young girl and I'm wanting to go for something great, there's always that age where you're like, you want to hang out with your friends and you want to have that social life. And I've oftentimes thought if I was an Olympian, if I had been plucked out.
Continue.
As she pondered the possibilities.
Because there were certain things that I wanted to do, but like that drive to be social made it so I didn't go for certain things in my life. And so how did you reconcile like the quote unquote normal things that teenagers were doing versus what you were doing? Did you ever feel like, oh, well, now I'm just like stuck in this and I can't really get out? Or
It's a great question.
Yeah,
Great question.
It is. I mean, with gymnastics, that's just kind of your life. I feel like whenever you are put into gymnastics, it's just like the dedication. You have to be full in to do gymnastics.
Plus, you love it. I mean, you love it.
Yes. I mean, obviously, I feel like with gymnastics, we always say it's a love-hate relationship just because it's so hard but so rewarding. And it's probably the coolest sport you could ever do, I think.
For sure.
I don't think I'd ever want to do anything else just because it's like there's... you have the hard work, the discipline. You learn so many things in life, but yet you can go out there, tumble, have fun, show the crowd what you've worked so hard for. I just love that.
And it has such a wow factor for people who don't understand the sport. Because there's a lot of sports where I'm like curling, or they're like scrubbing the thing and they're pushing that thing across.
Like,
and I'm like,
who?
I don't really get it, or
move this little disc, little pushes at a time,
push it. And so there is such a wow factor about gymnastics where anybody who's a novice off the street or who is a pro can look at it and have that like, oh, I'm going to stay here and watch every bit of this. So there is a really cool factor to that. So
but
you
back
were
to the
all
high
in.
school thing. I'm just curious.
You're all in.
So did you go to like traditional school then in high school and stuff?
Dances and things?
I did go to one dance, and we had like Mormon prom.
Yeah.
In Arizona.
So through the church.
Yeah, they did one. And so we had that I went to once. I never had a full-on study boyfriend at the time to take me to prom, or no one really asked me because I was so busy and traveling all the time, and I just didn't really care, I guess.
Yeah.
But I did have friends ask me to Mormon prom, so I kind of got to experience prom, but not really the way I wanted to. But I was homeschooled 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And then I told my mom, I was like, I can't do this. I need a social life. Being in the gym 7 hours a day is just too much. So we went to high school, and it was brutal. I had to do a 0 hour, so I had to be there at 6 a.m. I would leave at noon and then go to gym from 1 to 8. I would get home around almost 9, and then by the time I would shower, eat, and do homework, I was like a zombie.
Yeah.
So I just never got sleep, and then I had to do summer school, and then in between that, I'm traveling to camp like every 3 weeks because with MARTA, it was just way more brutal and way more intense. So we had camps like every 3 weeks, and then if we went on an international assignment, we'd be gone for like 2 weeks, and then Worlds, you're gone for a month. So I was just traveling all the time, and I just was never there.
Trying to be a student.
It was rough. I don't know how I survived.
Did you actually graduate and walk with your class and the whole thing?
Yep, I got to do that.
Did you have a tutor or anything, or was it kind of just all online? You would be on the road and be...
No, my teachers would none of it was online, but they would just give me stuff, and then my school was also really nice. So like if I messed up on a test or didn't do very well, they would let me retake it. And they were just like, very understanding.
She's training for the Olympics.
The woman hasn't slept in weeks.
Put a pass. Put a pass.
So that seems like it'd be pretty expensive. Is that stuff that your family had to cover, or is there grants and things like that available?
My parents paid for it, and then obviously being on national team, we got
sponsors,
some funding and different stuff like that. So that was really nice, But
so you're saying your parents paid for like all of the typical
camps and
gymnastics. They didn't. So sometimes you have to pay to go to camps, but since I was on national team, I didn't. But if you weren't on national team and were getting invited, you usually would have to pay. So it does get really expensive. With meets, leotards, apparel, grips, all of this stuff.
You have a question?
The leotards. I have a very embarrassing story. You want to hear it?
I want to hear it. I
You
think
put
the whole
on
world
a
wants to hear it.
leotard?
No, I was like, you don't remember because she forgot about me for years.
Such a lie. When I was in high school and she was 6 years younger, she felt a little abandoned. But
so
believe
in that
me,
age, I was actually on a power tumbling team.
Oh, I know. That's
she
where
does
you
remember.
hurt your shoulder.
She knows now.
No,
she's just told
that
her.
was I was.
You
it
didn't
was
wait till
younger.
high school that you dislocated.
Yeah.
Okay. You were on a, what did you call it?
A power tumbling team.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
pretty
thought,
cool.
yeah.
It was awesome. The odd thing was I was lousy during practice. I had no idea how to execute and practice. Never once did I do my routine until I got to the place, and I was like,
oh my.
Look at me, I did it. Okay.
That's pretty good.
So you perform under pressure.
I definitely am under pressure. But this one time, I had total runs. And my stomach, I was a young girl. Yeah, I'm telling this story. And
we're going there.
We had these white.
Oh boy.
Oh, no,
all of this is terrible.
Yeah. And there was like a teal and a purple and like a silver like feathered look.
I'm picturing this.
Oh yeah, I was very into
Darling.
it. Tight little buns and tight legs and
they got those runs and that's just
the
a bad combo.
And that was horrifying.
So it just go everywhere? You tumbled?
Yeah.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, it was the runs, but it was a 1.
Okay.
It didn't.
But were you able to keep it all intact, or
not
where are we
necessarily,
going?
Not necessarily, but I still did my routine.
Oh,
I showed up.
You nailed it.
I nailed it, and then I think that could have been the end of my tumbling career. I think that's what did it, but.
Wait, how old were you? Is this like 5-year-old gymnastics?
I think it's like 11.
Okay.
10, 11. So did
is,
you just kind of land that back handspring
yep,
and then
I was
just
like,
scurry off?
I'm going right to the bathroom. And I just remember
my gosh, this is
feeling
terrible.
so disoriented and like I didn't know where anybody was, no help, but just like, well, I guess I'll clean this myself and kept that leotard on. It was awful.
That is terrible.
But
only your sister was around to help.
I know. Let's see. I
only.
was 17. I was probably at cheer practice, and believe me, that was intense.
So if you think about like the leotards, is such a fun part of gymnastics.
Oh yeah. Are you involved in the design?
She had her own line.
I'm coming out with my own leotard line with Ozone. So that's coming out in February.
So is this for like everyday wear gymnasts at the gym?
So practice.
Let's have you back and let's be wearing the leotard.
Awesome. My gosh. Now that would be something. Give me some time to smother my body in some self-tanner.
Yes.
Please.
We'll be so tan.
So you're coming out with your own line. You're designing it and everything.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Yep, it's cute.
And when does it launch? Do you have a date yet?
In February. It will come out. So
I
already have it. They already have it done. I've already seen it. So super cute.
I love
it.
And
it has to be.
It's a red, white, and blue collection. Just because I came right off the Olympics, I wanted to do red, white, and blue. But
it's so
cute.
patriotic, and I just like those leotards. Like you've got to have a tight bod.
Oh, the bums.
But I'm telling you,
the
there is
rear
a white
end.
one. Solid white.
Oh no, folks!
We can reenact the white leotard moment when you've got a good, solid stomach of steel. And wear it.
I mean, that's like, you think about, I'm sorry, but you just think about like a female. Yeah, and you've got those leotards. And there's so many things. And like you have zero, it's like you're in a leotard for your just everything.
All for
7
all
hours
things
a day.
To be out. Yeah. Yeah. There was a question that I just had. What is it? Oh, the actual Olympic experience. I mean, so you find out you're going, you go to the Olympics, and just kind of like, was it everything you'd hoped? Was it more intense than you thought? Was it, no big deal? I doubt it, but.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it was different with COVID, so none of our family could come. My husband couldn't come, so that was different.
Oh, yeah.
And then being an alternate in 2016, the 3 alternates didn't get to stay in the Olympic Village. So I was like, yay, like if I make the Olympic team, the Olympic Village.
Yeah.
We didn't get to stay in it, so they took us and the men's team. Yeah.
Okay.
So other athletes were in the Village, but we stayed in a hotel that was right across from the arena. And we did get to go visit twice, which was super nice. But at the same time, it's just like you're not getting that full experience, everything.
What are you missing out on when you aren't staying in the Village?
It's so cool. You usually get to meet like all the athletes and like they're usually like a pool, a lounge area, just like
more interactive.
So cool. Yeah, they had a nail salon there, a hair. Like it was just so
that
great.
is
like
so fun.
Why were they isolating you guys when other athletes were actually staying there?
Because other athletes did get COVID. Some of them did, and then they didn't get to compete. So it was more just
it was a decision maybe of your team that said no, we're not even messing with that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It's like that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but you got to visit a few times. Okay.
We did.
Yeah.
So
did they have the nail salon?
They did.
Okay.
People
did you get
were
your
in
nails
it.
done?
No, we didn't.
Dang
but
it.
It was still cool to see it all.
So anyway, so just kind of the overall experience, what was like, obviously winning the medal is your favorite moment, I'm sure, but anything else that stands out?
It would be, I mean, I guess when you're at that like the mental strength that you're already at. I would just imagine like that's like intimidation central, like all these people are, or is it more of like a camaraderie? What was the kind of overall emotion that you were feeling?
It was so weird because I mean, like, Worlds is kind of like the Olympics. It's every year but the Olympic year. So we're competing against pretty much the same girls that are in the Olympics. And so, like, being there, I remember we have like a podium training. So we wear like a competition leotard and the judges are like there watching, but it's just like kind of like a rehearsal before prelims start.
But you're running through your things?
Yeah. Okay. And so that was like kind of like, I feel pretty good. Like, we know we did it. We all did really good. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. Like, it'll be easy. But like, even going to Worlds, like, I was kind of like, I know what to expect. I got this. It won't be that bad. Like, obviously the nerves are going to be there and it's stressful. But once we were out on the floor doing prelims, it was just totally different because you're trying to get an Olympic medal, you know, you want to make it into event finals, and it was just so different that I like literally felt sick to my stomach. It was just so stressful. I was like, even Olympic trials you thought would be stressful, but I think the Olympics were way worse. Some people say, no, like Olympic trials were way worse because you had to make it. Like, you're at the Olympics, you made it here, but it's like...
Yeah, but then it just got real because it's like this next level of expectation.
Exactly.
Like, you're here now.
I'm kind of feeling like I would be in a cloud because you have to be so zoned into what you are there to do that it does not matter where you are, who is there, and the big, huge celebration that it is. It's like you still have to do your thing. So did you kind of feel like you were there, but yet the same kind of zoned in that if you could have been at any competition for all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. No, and like we didn't get to have fans there. So I mean, it was kind of pretty much
felt
empty.
Similar
It was
like that.
And it was hard because like I'm super competitive. I like the pressure,
the energy.
And so like being at Olympic trials, it was just like, let's freaking go, you know, like let's go.
Yeah.
And so like not having any fans there, you're just kind of like, okay, like after your routine, like, was that good, you know? So
like literally no one in the space, but just like judges, coaches.
Yeah, there was like obviously like media people there, and I think a couple people could come and watch from like other sports, but I feel like prelims was pretty dead. It didn't really start getting a little bit more people to like team finals and then event finals. And then even then I was an event specialist, so I wasn't a part of the team. And so I was fighting for floor and vault, and then, you know, they only take 2 per country. So, you know, Jade is a lot like me. We're very similar, and so she already had the individual spot, and then they put me in the second one, and then Simone's good at everything plus floor and vault. So I pretty much kind of knew, I was like, it'll probably be them too. And then, you know, with the twisties and Simone having all that stuff, and then I was about to fly home and then decided to stay, and then ended up competing vault. So, like, it was just like, my emotions were everywhere.
You were about to go home because
I mean, I was done.
You weren't doing anything more.
And I didn't want to stay for, like, it was just exhausting. I was like, I'm ready to go home. Like, you know, I did the best that I could do. I went out there and, you know, obviously it's political. There are politics. So, you know, our scores weren't always fair. And so it was just a lot. And I was like, well, like they said I could go home. You know, I didn't think this would happen, you know, like.
It didn't have that same energy that you probably had anticipated, and so to stay there and to not really be able to be like,
oh, you couldn't go party with everybody because they were isolating everybody anyway.
So
is vault like your go-to, like that's your best one?
Yeah, floor and vault is what I specialize in. So I do
floor
all
and
around
vault.
Floor
and which
vault.
one do you like better?
I like floor better.
Okay.
Just because you get a dance.
And it's this
you know,
whole
show. You could like put on a show. You like get to almost be something you're not. So
I love that.
Yeah.
This is a question that kind of goes back to when you were younger. I know you have older sisters. So where do you fall in the family?
I'm the baby. So I have a brother and 2 sisters. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying to imagine, like, if we had an Olympian.
Oh, man.
There, you know, family dynamics are unique, right? And your sisters enjoyed gymnastics. Was there ever a moment where that was like a hardship, like you needed to work through that family dynamic of like we're all in and supporting Mykayla and like not having that stir up, like that's a hard thing for a family to balance. I can't imagine I can't imagine.
Was
that.
anyone competing like you? I mean, on the level, or were they just kind of doing it for fun and dropped out?
Yeah,
kind of
my
thing?
sister Chelsea always wanted to go to the Olympics. I'd probably even say my sister Katie too. My brother just did it when he was really young. And so we're all kind of like spread out. It's like 14, 10, and then like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And then
Really?
me. So we're all like, my mom had a hard time getting pregnant. So we're just very kind of like spread out.
Yeah.
So of course, like I was just the baby, and I feel like all the attention was on me. And so it was just kind of like, you know, Mykayla's the one with the most talent, so let's put all.
Like the family mascot.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Well, she came out of the womb at level 5.
Yeah.
So I think there was just no shot for anybody else after that.
Yeah, and my siblings knew it. They just kind of did gym for fun. Yeah.
If I could only. But so were they, so your brother just for fun when he was younger, but the 2 sisters were fairly competitive.
They were pretty good. Yeah, I think my sisters went to like level 8 and 9-ish, and then they just kind of quit and didn't really want to do it. They did all other sports, cheer, diving.
Okay.
You know, just everything. And so I was the one that stuck with it. And
you were just dialed in.
Yep.
You had no other interests outside of gymnastics as far as sports or anything else?
I did. I kind of wish, you know, like we were talking about having a social life. I didn't really get one, and I wish I could have been part of things, but at like the same time, this is what I wanted. I wanted to go to the Olympics. So it was like, you know, you have to pick your pros and cons, and I feel like kind of like right now I'm like in my prime, like meeting people, having fun. So I feel like I'm kind of catching up on the stuff I missed out on, but I think high school is a little overrated, you know.
It can be seriously brutal too, like, you know.
I love that it was like you had a higher goal and you kept your higher goal in what it's like,
because it's a long-term perspective, you know, where a lot of kids can't do that. They can't dial in and
so
be
you
that
didn't
dedicated.
let your I mean, it's just an example of all of us have these things in life that we want more than the distractions of like everyday life, and you were able to channel that, like, this is my goal and I'm going to forfeit things that I want for right now, that like instant gratification of the party or the prom or whatever it is, because my ultimate goal is to be an Olympian. And to have that strength and like that mindset is really incredible.
Yeah. You had a mental coach, right? Because I saw something on your social media about that. Was that something that all through, like, at what point do they give you a mental coach and go, okay, this girl needs this to stay focused and to get through it all?
I think a lot of it, I mean, just with time and age, you kind of know what you need to do. And I kind of, you know, you compete so many times, I'm like, I already know what I need. I kind of had one when I was younger. My coach Lisa introduced us to this one lady, and I just didn't like it. I just felt like it got in my head. It messed me up. And so I maybe did it like a couple times, and then throughout my whole career never had one. Then we went to college, and they have one for us, and we used her, and I loved her, and it was fun. It was great, and it was team building, and it was just...
Oh, so it was like a group coaching?
It was group, and you could go personally if you wanted to on the side, but I feel like I kind of knew what I needed to do. Like, I know how to compete. I know myself, so I didn't really feel like I needed help. And then I came home, and this guy reached out, Clay. He actually graduated from the University of Utah.
He seems so cool.
He is awesome. He was a wrestler, and he just reached out and was like, hey, like, I'd love to talk to you, you know, do a couple sessions. If you don't like it, whatever. And then we had our YouTube channel, so we thought, you know, why not share this with others, because there are so many that need the help.
Remember the thing?
Yes. I'm like, I cannot do it.
He did this exercise with her thumb to point.
Yes, and then you're supposed to, see, I can't
bring
even
it in.
switch.
Wait, you know, what is it?
I think it's this.
This is what I'm very proud of.
You're supposed to.
Can you do it? Well, she's doing a similar one, but that's not the same one.
I saw some kids in line at a theme park.
Point.
It's thumb point. I think it's this.
And then how do we switch it?
And then you.
I mean, I can't.
It's so hard. He does it so good. I'm like.
Oh, he just goes back and forth, and that's like an exercise to strengthen what? Like, how is that supposed to help you?
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Well,
like, how are these little things supposed to help you?
But there's certain things that
be dialed in or
that
something
you can learn so that they become just automatic.
It's like
and
automatic,
no longer have to do it. It's like getting that mental memory of it. And is there something? Is there like a great takeaway that people, when they're thinking about getting a coach or getting, what was the shift aside from this trick, which we all love and we're going to be practicing tonight? What was something that really resonated from what clay taught you that it was like, oh, this is something that I'll use for other parts, other facets of my life.
Apply other things.
I think, for me, like I told you, I already kind of knew my gymnastics. I didn't have mental breaks and different things. Like I get so many gymnasts in my DMs, like, can you help me with this mental break? I can't throw my back handspring, all these different things. And sometimes I'm like, I don't really know how to help you because I just never had that. I had the guts to just,
you never had the twisties?
I have not.
Okay.
I've seen people in my gym that have had them, and it's the weirdest thing.
Who named the twisties is what I want to know.
It's almost because it's like you get lost when you're like in the air when you're twisting.
Yeah,
you get
so
jumbled.
it's like I've seen people in my gym that have had it, and like sometimes it takes a whole week for them to like get it back.
Wait,
like your brain just almost gets confused.
Associated with the twist itself.
Yeah,
the motion.
Like you just get lost,
and they can't spot. So it's very dangerous for them to go on.
I thought it was
crazy.
like. Your mind is all twisted. I did not know it was like,
but I think
the twist in motion.
I think it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Well, it does.
This lady right here.
Hey, did you know this?
Yeah.
Did you know the twisties I thought it was like she kind of like her head was not in the game and she knew that it was going to be dangerous. I did not know that it was like, while I'm twisting, I
can't
cannot
spot.
Yeah, it's weird. Like your body like almost gets confused.
Never had that before.
You've never had that.
I've never had it happen.
But it's a thing,
but
a
it's
legit thing.
It's happened, yes. I've had teammates that have had it, and it's like I can't comprehend and wrap my head around it. But like watching it, it's like scary. Like you just get lost.
Scary.
You have to like almost start from the beginning, like go into the foam pit and like do a half and then do your full and like
my gosh.
and usually your brain, because it's like you know how to do it.
Oh, you've done it
like
a million
I could not
times.
do
It's
gym for a
there.
year and go back and probably still do it. I might hurt.
Yeah.
You know, my body might hurt a little bit, but
a little sore.
Yeah, but you'll always have it.
Because muscle memory too.
Yes,
you know,
super hard stuff like. The stuff she does could like kill her if she didn't.
Yeah, that's
do it
why
right.
it was so dangerous.
Land
just
on her
because,
neck.
that's the thing. Like, I don't know if you guys watched her vault where she did like the 1.5. She was supposed to do a 2.5, and she just like opened up and like. Luckily, she was safe. And for most people, they probably would have been like, "Oh, it looked okay." Like that's maybe not what she was supposed to do.
You saw that and was like, "Oh,
it was scary." Yeah, like it just. And then if she would have, done other stuff and did that, it just was like she could really hurt herself. So it is a thing that you got to be really careful with.
Did you answer our question? I can't remember because the twisties really got me. But you were saying
about
what the mental coach. One thing that maybe you could take with you.
I mean, I think anything. I mean, we were just talking a lot, but one thing that I really loved and didn't really ever think about is I tell this one a lot. So we drew like 2 circles, so they like cross over each other. And then on one side, you talk about the things you can control and the other things that you can't. I feel like that just helped me a lot to look at things, especially during COVID. I was kind of a mess and we were all just distraught with everything that happened. I didn't want to train for an extra year. And so I just took a step back and just wrote down what I wanted to accomplish. What I needed to do.
What's the middle part?
Oh, do they overlap and that's a category?
They overlap. So it was the things you want to, so the things you can control, things you can't control. And then in the middle, I just wrote, what was it? I'm trying to remember. I think it was just like the things that I've already accomplished or something like that in the middle. I'm trying to remember.
Clay, if you're listening,
get in
please.
here.
Oh, I was like, what?
I'm like, I can't even remember. But I think
it'll come to you.
It will come.
What's important about that is focusing on what you can control. And that is like the lesson of life. Because so many people get caught up in, I mean, especially like you're looking at Olympic level. You're looking at all these other athletes. You're looking at all these, what if this happens and what if this happens? And you could just completely get lost in all of the things you can't control, or focus on what you can control, which is you and your skills and your mindset and where you are like mentally. And I think that is a powerful thing to remind.
It's a lesson for everybody.
Yeah, just for everyday things.
Put the circles, everybody. And then when you are faced with a scenario or whatever, you put it in its spot, and not, if you can't control it, you got to let it go.
The main circle was like, let's say Olympics, your goal or
Oh,
the main
I like
thing.
that.
And then it was
The topic.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Which is great
There
because
we
let's say
go.
you're
The
focusing
main
on,
goal.
on
Yeah.
like,
makes it, I'm like, I can't
That
remember.
makes sense.
But
No, you pulled
if
it.
it's like relationships and you do the 2 circles, and
Right.
you're like, okay, my marriage, what I can control, what I can't control, my
Yes.
job, what I can control, what I cannot control. That's
and
great.
I think like if you don't like, it's like there's so many things you put into your brain that you don't need to be thinking about. Like you can't worry about the judges. You can't worry about the equipment. Even though the equipment is the beam, it's the beam. Even though it might feel different, it's still a beam. So there's just so many things that you shouldn't stress about that can add extra pressure, extra stress. And it's like, no, just go out there, do your job. Do what you've trained in the gym. You know how to do it. You know what you're doing.
Do you have like come on, Mykayla, this is what we're going to do.
Your power phrase, your power go-to phrase.
The thing that like gets you going and like helps you snap out of it. Do you have a Mykayla affirmation?
I'm tight.
I'm tight.
And tight.
If you're ever worried, I'll come up with those all day long for you.
Yeah.
I'm tight.
It's so hard because like I feel like whenever I think about it, I'm like, what do I do? But in the moment, you know, you always have like what you do on each event, you know. But I'm like, what do I do?
Right now, you're like, I have no idea.
Yeah,
put
I'm not
me in
like
a
in the
leotard,
zone.
put me on the floor. It'll come to me.
Like a star shining brightly. Like you start singing a little song.
I'm sure she does a nursery rhyme.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, before we started this podcast, we were talking a little bit about her diet and that, of course, she was burning through everything she was putting in her body.
Oh, my
because
gosh.
she exercised 7 hours a day. But as she was in the final, I don't know, at what point did you decide, I'm going to the Olympics, I am changing some of my diet and some of the things to feel my best, perform my best? And was that like a year in the training, or was it 6 months before, 1 month before?
It was kind of like in the middle of coming back. So with COVID, it obviously was pushed back 2 years. So I think it was like my first year coming back, like halfway in, going into 2020 Olympics. Obviously it was 2021, but 2020.
Yeah.
I kind of just decided, you know, I'm older. I need to, you know, fuel my body with the right things because I was really tired. My body was hurting, aching more just because in college you don't train that much. And then going back into it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot.
Brutal.
You were feeling
I
the
forgot.
difference of that. Yeah.
I'm like, I can't just eat
maybe
my chicken
I am
nuggets
just
and
a
french
little
fries.
bit older than the average.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were feeling those side effects and you were like, okay, I got to dial in here.
Yeah. So,
who kind of brought that to your attention?
On my own, I was like, I'm not going to drink soda anymore. I'm like, I'm just going to try to be better. My sister didn't drink soda, so, you know, I was like, why not? I'll try it, you know?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the first step. I know it's nothing crazy, but then...
She
That's
stopped
crazy
that pop.
enough. That's crazy enough for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because this girl here can tip it back, man.
Yep.
So you're saying I can't go to the Olympics if I drink soda?
Oh, yeah. I think
I don't think
step
so.
one, Pidge, is to stop drinking Diet Mountain Dew, and you might make it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Not be
That's your...
injured.
Yeah.
That's the only thing holding
Fix
you
your
back
wing.
from the Olympics.
Fix your wing, yeah. Okay, so anyway, so you were like, okay, I'm going to stop the soda.
Yes. And then one of my friends that was an ASU gymnast that did gym with me growing up, she is in, it's like Simple Soul AZ or something, where they like do a hair analysis, or they like rip out a chunk of hair, put it in the machine.
Get the hormone balance and thing.
And so she had just started it. So she was like, can you just, you know, come try it, see if you like it, share it with your followers if you like it. And so I looked at, you know, everything that was wrong and what I needed to fix. And I was like, I'm going to try it and see if it makes a difference. Was there a long
list of things that
was
was like,
so many different things. Like, especially with like gluten. I was having too much gluten. I'm really bad at drinking water. So like,
gotta get that
gotta
water.
Get the water in.
Yeah.
And so I just changed everything and I went gluten free because gluten can cause a lot of inflammation.
Yeah.
And so I kind of through it all, I have a bone spur in the back of my heel, so like my bone just grew like huge in the back. And in college, it kind of started bugging me, and they thought it was my Achilles because in college it happens all the time. Yeah, super common. And so they kind of thought it was that. I got an MRI, wasn't, whatever. So then when I came back to Elite, it just really started bugging me. It just got worse and worse and worse. So we went and got another MRI, and they saw I had a huge bone spur. And so they thought of maybe like shaving it down, but I was like, I don't have time for that.
No time for healing.
And I'm like, my body's been used to having this here, you know, I just, you know, so I did a lot of therapy. I got a PRP injection. And so with just all of that, I was like, I just need to be healthier.
Yeah.
So I did that and I felt better. And I used to take naps all the time. I was super tired, just out of energy. I like didn't really need to take naps anymore. Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking after 7 hours of brutally, you know, torching yourself at the gym, you would be tired. But it's amazing that, do you think the gluten was the biggest change there?
I think that was the biggest.
Were you really hydrating yourself? Were you really dialing in on the water?
Yeah, I got a lot better. Now I'm not good anymore now that I'm not doing gym, which is so
Yeah,
sad. I'm like, oh.
You had your moment.
Yeah,
I know. So I think it made a big difference.
But
there's water in soda. So
there is.
It's
the
a
first
liquid.
ingredient is water.
It's a liquid.
Yeah. I mean, carbonated water, but it's still water.
Oh, same.
Okay, I want to just ask a few because I think we're running out of time. Are we running out of time?
We're getting there.
Okay, just a few. So you're amazing. You're an incredible athlete. We're so proud of what you've accomplished, and that is just mind-blowing to us. But we want to ask just a few personal questions to just get to know you outside of gymnastics. And they're simple, dumb questions, so don't even stress for 1 second. I mean, we're going to...
Sometimes the simple's hard.
Yeah. Okay, so what was I going to... Yeah.
What is your favorite go-to place to eat around here?
Oh, Kitchen 88.
Ooh.
I've never been there.
Where is it?
I live in American Fork. So
Kitchen
it's like
88.
I'm not
I
good with
swear I've seen pictures
everybody.
of that.
It's like the go-to. You
but
gotta
is it
Let's
like
go
chicken
sometime.
and fries, or is it salads?
So
is
you
it...
can get salads and tacos, but they have like these meat plates. You can get like chicken, tri-tip. There you go. And then like pork, and they like come in this like cut up really nice little portion, and you can get like quinoa or like potatoes, and they put this really like yummy sauce, and then me and my husband usually get a side of fries or like sweet potato fries, but it's like really good. Like if you go on the weekend, sometimes the line is like out the door.
Okay.
But it's like
we can't do that.
The new thing. You guys gotta go.
Kitchen
88.
I've heard of it, and it's been on the to-do.
Just come straight to
do you go
front?
straight to the front of the line?
I mean, we never go that late.
You just do like back
we go a couple times a week, so
you're regulars.
I feel like every time they walk in, they're like, oh, those
there
people
they
again.
are. I'm imagining with your husband being 6'7", he really pounds the protein.
Yeah.
Am I right? Can he really
he
eat a
does.
good substantial amount?
He can.
You guys are a very attractive couple.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Thanks.
So cute. Okay, my question is, so outside of gymnastics, what is your other passion? Something else that you love to do? Is it traveling? Is it shopping? Is
shopping
it
for sure.
eating?
Yeah.
Is it art? Are you a painter?
Oh, no.
So you
can't
love
sing,
to
can't
shop.
paint, not artsy, but I love to shop. I mean, I've been working with a bunch of other companies on. I did one with Ivy City Co. I came out with a dress and IVL. So I just like love doing different things like that.
That's so fun. So do you like
really
kind of
fun.
design? Do you think like because you're coming out with your leotards too? So can you see maybe that's an avenue that you might go like long term?
Maybe. I'm back in school, so I have to finish my last year because I deferred my last year of school.
Broadcasting or something, right?
Yeah.
That
so that's kind of
awesome.
what I wanted to do.
We're practicing today.
I know, it's
being
good.
broadcasters. How'd we do, Pidge?
So good.
So good.
These feel very natural, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. I
What
would trip up as a podcaster.
As a broadcaster.
There we go. Did I say podcaster? See what I'm saying?
You barely figured that one out.
That's something that
my gosh
would be a dream job, like a host of a show, broadcasting.
Cool.
So would you want to broadcast like news or sports or
what's your
if you could pick your
category
best
probably
dream job?
Sports.
Yeah.
I wanted to do Pac-12, so like do like some of the Utah meets. And then, like, here in Salt Lake.
So sticking with gymnastics.
Yeah. And then kind of what Nastia Lukin does.
I was just going to ask what her name is. It just slipped my mind.
So that would be a long-term job. Like, there would be enough gigs that are just, like,
commentator on every single, like,
competitions and stuff like that.
Yeah. So we'll see. That's what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So
I don't feel like there's a bunch of gymnasts like you have the experience that are going into it, right?
It's true. Yeah.
I feel like you got the in.
And I think some of them, like, I just, not to be rude, but like, I'm just
be
like,
rude.
you could do so much better. Like, I just feel like some of them don't commentate very good, you know? And I'm like, if you're doing this, you know, you need to do it with a passion. Like, get you know what you're talking about, be involved, be a gymnast. I feel like I kind of know, been in the realm.
Yeah.
Recently,
100%.
When you're broadcasting, you want those
when
people
you're podcasting.
Exactly. In a broadcast, any of the above, you want the people who are listening to be emotionally engaged and to feel like they're feeling that energy from afar.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a really cool gig.
I got another question.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
So you traveled a lot, mostly with competing, I'm guessing. Didn't have a ton of free time outside of that, maybe to do like
really.
Leisure
like
travel.
California, but nothing special.
Have you been able to squeeze in any fun trips that were outside of gymnastics that stand out as your favorite trip or place to travel?
I haven't gotten to go really. I mean, my husband and I, we go to Florida a lot. He likes Florida, California, but we went to Thailand on our honeymoon. So that was like
amazing.
my
really
one
cool.
Yeah, was that
thing
your
I
big?
really got to do. But even that, like, I'm so glad to be done with gym just because I don't have to like stress anymore. I remember like even if I took like 2 days off, I'm like stressing on my vacation. I can't enjoy it because I'm like, I'm missing out on this. I don't want to get in trouble, and I just feel super behind and stressed. So that's like the one nice thing to be done with gym. I don't have to have that on my plate anymore.
Aren't you just feeling a sense of relief and freedom to just kind of like make your own choices on your own timeline?
Yeah, you don't have to have that coach down your throat like a second parent, you know?
Oh, I cannot even imagine the intensity.
So I think that this is something that I love to watch, like specials on the Olympics. And this is something I think you've done really well, that you love your Olympic experience. Yes, you are an Olympian. Yes, you are a medalist. Because there's a lot of people who can go to the Olympics who never actually get on the podium.
Yeah, so true.
However, that is not what you are. It's like you have allowed yourself to have other dreams and other interests, so that isn't always like the greatest part of your life. It's a great part of your life, but you seem to really have like captured that. Like
and other
I
goals.
want to, and just like I want to, you know, love this experience, but this isn't the only thing that is me.
Yeah. I've told people, I'm like, obviously like the Olympics is my main goal, but it's not, if I didn't come home with a medal, like, devastating. But I've always told myself, I'm like, there's always so much more to life. Like, it's just a sport. It's like, it's not all about the fame. It's like, 10 years from now, some people might be like, oh yeah, you were that Mykayla Skinner Olympic silver, Olympic silver medalist. But like, it's like, there's just so much more to life after that. And I just, you know, I look at some people in sports and that's just like, you know, that's like their only thing. And then they just, you know, after they leave it, they just are lost.
Oh yeah, I was going to say the depression and all of that. You have to look beyond that. And
I'm like, there's so much to do in life. You know, sports isn't everything.
Do you feel that was awesome. A unique mindset? Like even amongst your other girls that you would go to gym with, where do you think that came from? Was that something that was instilled in you with your family? And
yeah, I mean, I feel like my mom, you know, talked to us a lot and, you know, kept us going and, you know, just to show the bigger picture of life. And, you know, watching my sisters, you know, grow up, get married, have children. Like, I want to have kids. Like, I'm trying to beg Jonas, can we start already? But he's like, not till maybe the end of the year. So
maybe. We're going to hold him to it.
So we'll see. But I don't know. I'm just watching them. I just feel like, you know, watching them have a life and do all these things. It's like, oh, there is more to life, you know?
Absolutely.
It's like, after being in a sport of gymnastics, too, it's just so brutal and so exhausting that it's like, you know, I kind of couldn't wait to get out of it in a way, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you cannot do that long term,
you
know?
I feel like
really
I'd
took
cry.
it to the max, right?
And you don't have an interest in being a coach?
Not right now. I always think it might be cool to do, like, an assistant coach for college or something, but I don't know. I just, even, like, when I coach into the gym, I'm not patient. I'm like, just do it. It's not that hard. Just do it. You know, like I can't, like, why can't you do it? It's so easy.
You got to have the right techniques and coaching for sure.
Yeah, but I feel like I could be a really good coach and really beneficial and really supportive. But at the same time, I'm like, I just need a break. Yeah. So maybe in the future, but not right now.
Are they typically like college athletes that become coaches? Like the ones that coached you had that type of background?
So my coach, Lisa, didn't, but her husband was the ASU coach. She was with ASU since they, like, started for a very long time. He retired a couple years ago, but she was a cheerleader and a dancer, so didn't really have too much of a gymnastics background. But there's, like, a lot of the older coaches, not all of them have a gymnastics background, which is crazy. So
that's that old
so
saying,
weird.
like, those who don't do, teach. Yeah.
Right?
It was on the wedding planner.
Powerful.
Because she didn't get married.
School of Rock.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, I hadn't heard it, but it was powerful.
You've never heard that?
I mean, I get it. You know,
I always like I was watching the Chiefs game because Brian's a big Chiefs fan, my husband, and there's always like male and female sportscasters, and that's that same thing. Like she's never been in any type. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she played in like junior high or something, but
she's just
basketball.
so good.
Yeah, but she knows how to what to say and what to look for, and so I guess you could be a coach on something.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you think you would need to be the expert to be able to teach it, but it's like it comes from a totally different angle. It's interesting. Okay, one last question.
What if I have 5 more?
Oh well, you'll have to ask Pidge based on time. Where did you meet your husband? Where did you meet your husband? And you've been married how many years now?
2 years.
2 years. Okay.
So he actually goes to BYU.
Ooh.
And so my friend Emma that I met at the U went to high school with him. So when he came back from his mission.
Where did he grow up?
He grew up, he's from like the Bay Area, but his family's been here since like high school.
Yeah.
So he's been here for the last like 10 years.
Okay.
So basically
Where in the Bay
Utah.
Area?
That's where our family, that's where our roots are.
Yeah,
don't
we
know,
moved
actually.
here in high school from the Bay Area.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
You'll have to talk
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Yeah. You need to know this too.
I should. I know.
You know?
I'm
You're
so
like,
bad.
they're from here long enough.
Well, he always just says like the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
you know.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was from the Bay Area, but he moved to Utah.
Yeah, in Bountiful.
Okay.
So that's where his family's from.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was actually kind of talking to some other girl, and I swooped in.
That's
Emma,
right.
but Emma was involved.
She knew him, so she was like, you need to like follow him on social media, and like he seemed really cute, but he like just came back from his mission, so he had like
He was very fresh.
Yeah, like 2 pictures.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
so I couldn't really tell. I'm like, he's cute. And then the more he was like posting, and then was posting with another girl, I was like, no, he's cute.
Yeah,
I
he's
want
not
him.
allowed to post with another girl.
So I kind of
Excuse
swooped.
me.
I was the one that
Yeah.
swooped in. So.
And you were up at the U, and so how did you guys how did your paths cross? You came down here, whatever.
I was at the library studying one night, and he was just like, hey, like, can I come down and see you? So he came down, and I was with Emma. We were studying. So his family lives in Bountiful, so he was coming to stay for the weekend.
Okay, that's convenient.
And this is where it gets kind of funny because we go and we have a really good time. We like ate at the pie.
Oh, classic.
Yeah, and so the next day we hung out till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yep.
And we were just talking a lot, and it was like really good. And so like I was kind of like, I really like him. But when we first saw each other, he comes walking in, and I'm sitting down. And I'm just like, he is really tall.
He's a giant.
I was like, Emma,
Yeah.
is that him? She's like, yeah, I don't remember him being that tall. He
Oh
was
my
tall, but he
gosh.
must have grown a couple inches. And so I was really nervous to stand up because I was like, he's gonna like be like, that's, you know, she's too short for me.
Yeah.
But
you should have stood up on the chair.
I'm
Just
protected. I'm powerful.
Just do a
Nice to
quick
meet
flip.
you. Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, that
right.
would have done it. Just stand up and go into a backflip, and it just his head spinning, and he wouldn't be able to size you up.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you were nervous to stand up, but you stood up.
I
Obviously,
stood
it
up,
worked
and
out.
it went really good. But he told me later on that his friends looked me up. So
Yeah.
they knew I was short, and they were all like, dude, she's really short. And so
Hey,
he's
I mean,
like,
you're
yeah.
a gymnast.
Petite.
You can only be so tall. you know.
Powerfully petite.
Yes, go
It's
with
weird.
petite.
All of her pictures are her in a leotard.
I know. I mean, he was
Tight.
probably like, "Why aren't you wearing one now here in the
Right?
library?"
I
I'm
wanted
just
to see.
disappointed.
Right? I
Anytime
know.
you can Google somebody, it's probably a little bit more intense than just like
That's
Right?
true.
That's
finding them on the
true.
gram.
Yeah.
That's true. You
Oh,
can
shit.
Google me, but you're gonna find some very weird things.
Yeah.
Nothing that has any value. So you can't Google
Was
randoms.
it? So was it after that day? Was it like an instant connection, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry this boy?
I mean, I don't really know if I exactly thought that quite, because it was his height.
Yeah.
I kept telling Emma, I was like, I don't know, because like my neck was like hurting,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
going up all the time. I like wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
And so, and my family's on the shorter side, but my sister married, he's like 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
So a little used to it,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
I never pictured myself marrying somebody that tall. And so,
That's so
anyway,
funny.
the next
know.
day, I knew he was in Bountiful, and it was the weekend, and so I like went over to Emma's house, and I'm like, let's see if Jonas wants to hang out. And so I'm like Snapchatting
Emma is just a
him.
real piece in the puzzle
oh,
here.
She
yeah.
is. She's like, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. So I like Snapchatted him and stuff, and he was like, oh, I can't hang out. I'm not feeling well. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And then like on his Snapchat, all of his friends are at his house, and I was
What?
like,
He's
I was
giving you
"Hey,"
like the
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
how dare he?
so then we didn't talk for a while after that.
you were like, oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I was like, well, I guess he's
remember.
not interested.
Yeah, that's the one thing with like
Yeah.
social media now. It
You
used to
can
be that
find
you could
out
be
where
like,
they
oh yeah,
are.
I'm not feeling good, and nobody
Right.
would know the
Yeah.
wiser. But
Yeah,
now,
I
You
know.
found out,
So
yeah.
then we started talking again, and then we ended up dating after a while. And then like after we were dating, I found out he had nose surgery. And so his friends came to see him, and he was really embarrassed.
There we go.
Oh, that's
there
funny.
we
Yeah.
go.
We'll
And
forgive
that's
him.
why
Sorry,
he wasn't
Jonas.
feeling well.
Yes.
Is because
Yes.
he had
Yeah,
the
and
nose
he was
surgery.
so embarrassed.
That
like,
was literally the next day
the
after
next-
you
it was
went on a
like-
date.
Yeah, we like talked till like 3 a.m.
Didn't
we were
even
just-
mention that he has a procedure.
No, that's why he came down to Bountiful, because he had a surgery next morning. He's like, yeah, I went home and I got like no sleep. But then when he was on the anesthesia, right? Anesthesia, anesthesia, or
He's
whatever.
like, Mykayla, I love you.
He was telling his mom, like, I met this really cute girl, and he never remembered saying it, but he was like telling his mom, like, I really like her.
The subconscious.
His true heart's desire.
Dialed in.
His true heart's desire.
Adorable. His true heart's desire. That's adorable. How long did you date before you got married?
2 years before we got
Really?
married.
Because then you had to do the whole training, the go away. Did you like do long distance dating?
Like maybe for at least 6 months, I think it was. Because he was working with Vivint, so he'd go in the summer. And then we were like, it's time to get married. We're not doing this anymore.
And then you were married for at least a year before you went to the Olympics, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so
cool.
awesome.
That's really a fun thing that one day when I just think like life is, I always think of myself as a 90-year-old looking back on my life.
Really?
And the adventures.
That's gonna look good on you.
And
black leather pants.
right?
Oh yeah. She'll be wearing a similar outfit at 90, I guarantee it.
And I'll have bright red lipstick just
I love it.
We had a
I love
great Aunt Lejette, and she always had bright
Oh.
lipstick just everywhere.
And she was like 98.
Oh, yeah.
And just that lipstick, never quite in the lines,
No,
but
just-
it was applied.
Yeah.
But she went for it.
And then our grandma would put, one time I had to tell her she used blue eyeliner to fill in her eyebrows because she had lost the eyesight, you know, but she was still
that's coming
penciling
for
those
me.
in.
That's coming for
Yeah,
me.
something to look
But
forward to.
I think
But-
of these stories like when you're experiencing them now, but when you're looking back after you lived a long, fruitful life, and it's like, wow, that is so fun. And, in the beginning of our marriage, I was training for the Olympics, and it's just really fun to.
When you have your 5, 6 children,
That's right.
climbing all
Yeah.
over you, you'll look back at what a highlight
what
that
a
was.
fun, what a really cool
Oh.
life experience,
It's a story that very few can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, and that is just cool.
But
That's
what's
so cool.
awesome is that, yes, you're an Olympian.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's not the only thing. And your personality is so bright and so easy to get along with. And you have a very great energy about you.
True.
You don't walk in with an ego. You don't walk in like I'm the stuff.
No, not
it's
at
like,
all. Not
hey,
at
I'm
all.
here to
Yeah.
I'm here to, be a part of whatever anyone's doing.
Yeah, and how you make people feel is one of the best things.
Well, it's probably
best
because you two are
qualities.
so intimidating.
Oh
They're
yeah.
scary.
I mean,
So
I
scary.
grabbed her with a big hug before that glass door was even open. I ran
when
to
I
her.
first met them, we're at gig.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You bring your cute little baby, and they're just like walking in, and they're all just so cute. And I was like, dang, how do I keep up?
Oh, please.
Oh, I told Beverly,
girl.
I'm like, listen, you are a young baby, but this is the only Olympian you will ever meet.
True. And you snapped a
Well,
picture.
they have so
yeah.
much energy.
I know.
They
They're
just,
so
fill the
fun.
whole
I'm like, can you be
building.
my mom?
Yeah.
Can you be my stepmom?
Yeah.
You got it. We'll adopt you.
We'll adopt you
Okay.
happily.
As we mentioned before, we like to do a little inspirational quote.
Yep.
And today, I think this one is so perfect. And I'll say it after I say the quote. Okay, so small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements. And I think that's amazing. Of course, today we've been talking about the highest of
Mic drop.
achievements, the highest level of self-discipline.
Yep.
But this quote just applies to all of us. And I want to end with a very attainable message for everyone listening, that small disciplines every day repeated we can accomplish amazing things, but you can't accomplish anything without self-discipline. So it looks different for every single one of us, but I just like how it says small disciplined repeated every day, is very something that all of us can do. And I think all of us need to, because what feels good is accomplishing things and working towards things and doing things that matter to you to make you happy.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's very, very
Amen.
powerful.
Amen to that.
It's just funny because it's like, 7 hours in the gym, small discipline.
That's
7 hours.
That's why I
It
wanted to
starts
dial
small,
it back,
But, it can get
Yeah.
bigger and better.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's the thing, is working towards something too. You get better at it every
Yep.
single day, and you will surprise yourself.
Like
at
one skill at a time,
you're
like whatever
capable
you're
of
wanting
doing.
to achieve,
Mhm.
it only comes with small disciplines repeated daily.
Exactly.
One skill at a time, one back tuck at a time.
And that can be, I want to be a more positive person. And so you're going to do some small practices
I
every
hope.
day. That's what I'm really working on.
I hope
Um,
she needs
I
that,
want
right?
to be like, more organized.
I'm sorry. I just had a very, like, here we are. We're sisters.
We are.
We've got Mykayla Skinner here on our podcast.
And we came from the Bay Area, what we like to call the ghetto, like really rough beginnings. So we've really come far.
Mm-hmm. Small disciplines.
Small disciplines every day.
Who would have thought?
Great achievements. Very few, let me tell you.
For sure.
Because I remember I was watching you.
No.
And I did the whole deep dive on your Instagram as you're going to the Olympics. And I was so like, I don't know why I was proud. But I was like,
yeah. From, Utah, going to Utah.
Yeah. And we come from the USA. We come from the same church background, and I was just like, "Yeah, she's my girl."
Oh yeah,
I was cheering you on, and here we are,
and I could feel it.
Yeah,
I could feel everyone's energy.
Even though it was a quiet room where you were performing, quiet room, but
I had no idea
vibes were going. No idea what
I would meet her.
No.
That's what I'm saying. When I'm 90 and I'm still wearing these leather pants.
Today's the story you'll tell.
High five, girl.
With the lipstick and the blue eyeliner.
That's right.
The blue eyebrows.
Encore, just bringing people together.
That's right. So as you're going into your next
adventure,
what would be like the small disciplines repeated daily? You're not going to the gym. What are the things that you're now executing daily to work on you stepping into this next phase?
That's a loaded question.
I know. I think the biggest thing for me is just trying to be that normal person, trying to figure out my schedule, my life. Yep. Like I had that schedule every single day. Like I feel like being a gymnast, like you knew what you're going to do. You knew what you had to get done. And now I'm starting school and I'm like, need to work out. And I just feel like I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like now I like don't have something pushing me. So I almost feel like I can be lazy. So I think just trying to find
the new norm.
Yes. And trying to figure out what I like.
Did you have a bit of a dip, because you are so structured or have been so structured. Now you can create your own. Sometimes you feel like you feel lazy, you feel unaccomplished, you feel like, where am I going? Like, did you have a dip like that?
I feel like a little bit. I mean, obviously I've been doing stuff with social media, but social media can be hard. Like sometimes I get tired of it. I'm like, this is just dumb. Like I just wish I could be myself, didn't have to post, things everybody wants to see and TikToks and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm just not good at it. And it just takes so much time. I'd rather live in the moment and like enjoy it than like sitting there like, oh, I got to get a picture of this and, be distracted.
Absolutely,
so it's just different, but,
you're finding your way.
I'm finding my way. So we'll see what happens. Right now I'm just a student,
But that's cool too, because you're working toward being a broadcaster.
Yeah,
I said it. So that's something that's exciting, a new challenge, new skills that you're working on and everything. So
and we'll be listening to and be like,
oh yeah,
we know her.
Oh yeah,
that's our girl.
Like I learned
that's our girl. She tight.
Hey guys,
I cannot believe
Skinner,
how
and
perfect.
And I'm
tight. Because that's what a guy says about a girl that's like hot.
She's tight.
Yeah, all of us guys say that all the time.
Pidge has been saying that for years.
Oh yeah,
for years.
Have you met Mykayla? She's tight.
Okay, I've got a little bit of awesome I want to share real quick, and this one, I know. This is it. It's short and sweet.
This is just such a good one,
right?
Let's just keep it going.
You just
Let's make it 2 hours.
That's right. Bam.
We've never had this kind of opportunity before. Don't
ruin it, Pidge.
Sorry, I don't want to embarrass you in front of the.
No,
I know it's true. It's
celebrity. Okay, it's just short and sweet, but it's something that I think is so awesome because it's a listener. And in one of our podcasts, we talked about if you're struggling, one of the things that really helps you is looking outside of yourself and helping someone else, lifting someone else, doing something for someone else. And so one of our friends and listeners, her name is Shelly, and she was listening to the podcast. She's been struggling a little bit. And so that inspired her. It was a coworker's birthday, inspired her, okay, I'm going to do something outside of myself. Distract myself from my problems. And she went and bought a cake and balloons for a coworker.
Cute.
And I just thought that she's like, it was just the little push that I needed to do something, for somebody else. And so that's what we like to hear because the purpose of the podcast is to help people just see the little bits of awesome in every single day and try to bring awesome to other people's lives as well. So I thought that was awesome.
When you're not feeling awesome.
Yeah. Go make someone else feel awesome.
Yeah, go do something because it will only compound if you're just sitting in your misery.
That's right.
So you got to think outside the box, and I love that. And that's a great example.
I love it. So I think we're wrapping up, shall we?
Do you have anything that you want to say as we close this?
This has just been a blast.
Hasn't it been
so
fun?
I feel so bad. We didn't even give you a moment to drink.
Do you want to take down that Gatorade? I mean, for those people that aren't here, we are watching an Olympic athlete drink Gatorade.
I mean
that's
fitting.
kind of like a commercial in itself, right?
Electrolytes and all.
It's
my gosh, it's powerful.
Brought to you by Gatorade. You know that guy who's on all the NFL?
Oh, was it a little kid?
No, but his voice is so like this. This podcast is brought to you by Gatorade.
It's actually not. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's not, although we wouldn't turn it down.
No, we wouldn't.
Maybe today's the day. They're like, well,
I should start.
Start being sponsored by Gatorade.
I mean, it's about time. It's about time. Okay.
Yep. And that's it.